Hey everyone, what's going on? It's your girl Catrice and welcome to Cocktail Hour with Catrice. Listen, we're getting ready to get started for our show, but before we do, I have a few church announcements for you all. So y'all ready? Let's go. First and foremost, to get all of my updates, okay, when I'm going live, when I'm posting something in Patreon, you want to text the word cocktails to 833-495-4371. That's 833-495-4371. Now, FYI, you cannot text that number outside of the word cocktails, okay? If I get it, I can't respond to it. So please only text one time, and if you want to stop it, just press stop. That's all you got to do, okay? Secondly, feel free to join my Patreon. I post a lot of exclusive content in there, stuff that I can't post here. And if you know, you know, okay? If you know, you know, we get lit in my Patreon. We also do live streams in Patreon where I allow the panel to come up to share their point of view, and it's all confidential. Okay, so we don't like any moles in the camp. All right, you got to come over. You want to be responsible and confidential so that you can get all this great tea when I drop it. And lastly, I'm a self-published author of a book called Triumph Over Adversity, Overcome Your Church Hurt. Okay, it's available on BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com. I wrote it like 2016, so it's years old. I have to update it, but I think you're gonna like it. It tells you about my story within the church, the ministry, what God did and what God didn't do, and then what got allowed to happen. It's a lot, but you want to get the book so you can know why I'm the way that I am right now. I'm giving y'all all this good tea, but also my love for the Lord and for His people. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to do that. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, that share, and that subscribe button. Share this with a friend. Share with your mom and your grand. Listen, the aunties and the grandmamas and the great-grand, they love me. They love cocktails, okay? So share me with them so they can get all this good tea too, and they can get into the conversation. All right, I love you all, and I will see you on the show. Bye. Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Sunday to each and every one of you all. Y'all, first of all, it's daylight savings time. And so last night, like the whole weekend, I was dog sitting, okay? And I got in the house like 5 o'clock and I thought it was like 9 o'clock. So anyway, it's a Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday. It was an amazing Sunday. Hope that you guys are doing well. Let's do some really quick housekeeping really quickly. If you're new, please don't forget to hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, okay? And then also, if you all did not get the text, I sent out a text message before coming live, okay? So text the word cocktails to 833-495-4371. That's 833-495-4371, okay? Check out the Patreon at your leisure if you're interested. We did have an awesome live last week, y'all. We were talking about some things in the Patreon. I revealed some secrets in Patreon last week. The video it's still up, but I have the control to do what I want to do with it, okay? But the video is definitely still available for you all to watch. We had a great time. Nobody really came on the panel, but it's okay. All right? So really quickly, y'all, let's just talk about the elephant in the room with this whole Bishop Todd Hall situation and this ESPN praise. So we're talking about 3 different things tonight. We're talking about Bishop Todd Hall. We're talking about Pastor Jameliah Gooden. And we're talking about Pastor Dwayne Dawkins. Now, there's another situation that happened just today where some members got kicked out of a church. I watched a little bit of it, but I'm still watching it. So hopefully I'll be able to give you all some solid commentary at some point in time. Okay. But today is just not it. So hopefully by Tuesday, I'll have something for you all for the show. All right. So the other day I'm minding my business, right? And one of my homeboys, he's a musician, and he had posted this I thought it was a funny video. I didn't know who it was. I had no clue that it was some like convocation. Hey, D Jones. I didn't know it was some convocation. I didn't know it was some actual service going on in the New York area. But Bishop, Prophet, Deacon, okay, he is a prophet, he is a bishop. Town Hall apparently had some service or whatever over the weekend, and or at least within the last week or so. And so apparently, and this is the thing, I was talking to my friend who's a musician, and he was like, they have to practice this stuff. Like, you just, some people get it, some people have it, but some people don't. Okay. So he said, in order to get that vamp, to get that whatever, like, they have to practice this stuff, right? So there's this ESPN praise. I put it up on my YouTube channel, okay? And you all did not disappoint. Let me just say this. The commentary that I've been posting outside of going live and Patreon, the subscribers and the watchers have been commenting on a lot of it, especially this ESPN praise situation and this Dwayne Dawkins situation, okay? They were jamming. However, I was just confused, and the vamp is still in my head, to be honest with you all. I was just confused because I was like, why are we doing an ESPN praise in church? Hey, E, what's going on, bro? Thank you for coming in. So that was the whole thing. Like, it's some big ESPN situation. But did you all catch? I took a screenshot of it. I believe, now it looked like Jamal Bryant was in the building, because, you know, they all come from that little circuit or whatever back in the day. You know, the pastors and the bishops, they all stick together. All right. And so I would not be surprised if he was actually there. But, you know, Jamal has a certain way that he dresses, and this guy was wearing the sweaters like Jamal wears. Okay. So I'm almost sure that it was him, but I have not confirmed anything. That was it. So the other day, now mind you, I went live, I want to say it was Wednesday or Thursday of last week in Patreon. Okay. So if you missed Patreon, you missed a heck of a broadcast. So I shared with you all some things about who is actually allegedly, hey, Miss Tatum, allegedly. You're like, Cocktails, you starting up already. I am. Who is allegedly, okay, a lesbian. I hate to even say that, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? These people, they gotta live their life, okay? But they are an undercover DL lesbian. You gotta go to the Patreon to figure that part. I can't tell you out here because I need solid paperwork in my hands, right? So all we can do is speculate. But I have gotten some very interesting confirmations, but I don't want to speak about that publicly because that looks bad. But for the people that are my Patreon, they know about it. So I'm online, and I get offline, and I was talking to my friend. Apparently, he was off of work, and one of my good friends is a musician, so he was no gigs all last week. So we just sat around and talked like two old church ladies last week. Like, literally, I'm working, we're talking. He's getting ready for work, he's talking. Like, it was just the whole thing, like the whole week. So I take a break from talking, and I realize that there's some viral IG video of this pastor that I've seen before, but I didn't really know of her like that. Her name is Pastor Jameliah Gooden, okay? And she is online, and she's upset. Child, she was upset. She said that, you know, they give to the people don't appreciate it. If you turn over the books, you will see what I've given. And we've heard this before, okay? And you all are going to be shocked how I approach both of these next two situations, because it's twofold, right? Now, we have to remember that pastors are people. Pastors are not perfect. I don't care what we have in our minds that these pastors are supposed to be a certain way. They are human. That's number one. With that being said, we all have a choice. Okay. And if you are in a church, this is to the pastors, to the parishioners, to the deacon, to whoever. If you operate in ministry, if you're visiting a church, if you are new to a church, this is for you. If you go to a church, let's say you're a parishioner, and let's say you're falling on hard times, try to exhaust every resource available before going to the church and asking for help. Here's why. One thing I've noticed that these pastors will do, they will give to you and then tell you how much they gave. Okay. They will give to you and tell you exactly how much they gave. They'll go online now because the new pastors, they have the Facebook, right? So they go, and so was here with us. And I put food on their table and clothes on their back. They'll do that. So try your best, parishioners, because we're holding you accountable too. Try your best to not ask your church for a dime. Don't ask them for nothing, because they're going to smack it right in your face. Don't ask them for anything. Okay? Don't ask them for nothing. But pastors, likewise for you. You know what time it is. Breaking news. Pastors and leaders, this part is for you. The part that gets to me about some pastors and leaders is that these people, men and women of God alike, I've said this before, right? I've said this before. Everyone, now listen, there should be a pastoral handbook for your job description. Yeah. You should have a big black binder with all of your job functions in it. And it should have 2 pages. Preach the gospel, oversee finances, report to the steward board, report to the board. Like it's I'm not saying that pastors don't have it difficult, because they do. Okay? But I'm not a pastor. So I'm a realist. They do have it difficult. Some of them do. But your job is to minister the gospel. There's nothing in the handbook that should say, empty out your savings account, let people know how much you give to them, keep a roll. Because I'm getting so sick and tired of these people coming online talking about, we gave this, we gave it. Like, I get it. You, especially in the Black church. I'm talking about the Black church. I understand that there is a deficit when it comes down to adequate parenting of some sort, right? Some people come from broken families, broken homes, fatherless homes, etc. That does not mean that you step in as the pastor and leader and you assume the role of every person in your ministry. If that's the case, T.D. Jakes would be broke. But then again, he wouldn't, because a lot of people in his congregation are successful, right? But let's say they weren't as successful. Let's say that they didn't have the resources. He would be broke if he gave to everybody in the church. So breaking news, pastors and leaders, I'm so sorry. This is going to hurt. I don't care. You don't have to give your parishioners anything. If they get mad, let them go. That's not your job. Because I'm really getting tired of seeing these people come online fussing at us, right, about how much they gave and what they did, and you abuse us. Well, guess what? Then if you get abused, common sense would say to walk away. Like, if you can't take the job, don't do it. If you feel like you're being abused, take a break. Have a meeting. You know, people of God, we love you. We love doing what we do. However, we're going to set a boundary here, right? We're going to set a boundary here. This is what you are allowed to do. This is what you're not allowed. Case in point, my former pastor, she would say she didn't like getting close to people because she didn't want them to become too familiar with her. She didn't want them to become too familiar. She said, listen, there needs to be a boundary set between pastor, parishioner. Not every pastor pastors the same. Not every parishioner is the same. So there needs to be a line here, because I don't know, outside of me preaching to you and leading you, I really don't know who you are deep down inside. I don't know what you're capable of. And I don't want you getting too familiar with me, because I don't want any mess. Right? And it worked out. My pastor was not my best friend. She was my leader. She was my pastor. She was not someone that I went to and told all my, situations I talk about with men or whatever to my girlfriends. She was the person that I would bring my spiritual things to. She was the one that I went to when I needed spiritual guidance. But I was not to the point where I was all over like, girl, what happened tonight? Well, last night, what you end up doing? I wasn't like that with my pastor. We set a boundary with each other. Okay. And so I think that it's healthy for pastors and leaders to have those healthy boundaries. And that includes finances. Pastors, stop giving your finances to your church, to the people in your church. That's not a requirement. The requirement is not that you come in here and you empty out your wallet and then you tell me what you did, because that's what's happening here. What's happening is I've done this for you. I'm worn out. I'm being taken for granted. Now I'm going to blast you online. Now I'm going to blast you so that you know how upset I am at the fact that you did not give me what I felt like I deserved. You didn't give me. You know how you're friends with someone and you expect you from them? You expect for them to treat you the way that you treat them? That's not how it always works. I'm learning that now, even as I'm going into my early 40s, right? I'm learning that I can't expect Catrice from my friends. My friendships are not all the same. They are not all one size fits all. And the parishioners in the church are not one size fits all. The pastors are not one size fits all. We talk about pastors here all the time, but guess what? Not every pastor is the same. You have some pastors that actually really love the flock, that love ministry, that love doing what they do. You have some that don't. You have some that are out here shucking and jiving, dipping and diving and doing it. Okay? You have some pastors that are like, well, listen, I'm just here for a check. Or they say, I'm just here for a come over. Or a Bishop Whitehead situation. I'm just here, allegedly, to show the people I have something going on outside of real estate. I really want to say something else, but I can't say that. Okay. All right? So let's be accountable, people of God. Like, seriously, like, I don't understand why this is so remedial to people. Like, you pastors, you don't have to give your money. Listen, how about this? 2023, stop. Stop giving your money. Stop overdoing it. Stop overwhelming yourself, and stop broadcasting online what you've done. Stop it. Like, I am so sick of it. It's just ridiculous. Let's see what I have on the roll. How y'all doing tonight? Y'all all right? This is my first time back in my chair in a few weeks, and it feels so good. Yeah, I wrote down all these notes. Don't do it anymore, pastors and leaders. Especially if you are a pastor and leader that wants the accolades after you've done it. Come on, listen, let's stop playing this game, Black folks. We know when you open a door for someone, you want them to say, thank you. You expect a response. Guess what? You may have a parishioner who doesn't understand that. They've never learned manners. They've never learned to be good-hearted people. They come from broken homes. They were just robbing Peter to pay Paul, or trying to figure out a way how to survive. They don't always know what to do. But you expect you from them, and it doesn't always work. And guess what? I'm not a pastor. So I can't say, oh, well, they get abused all the time. Well, guess what? Then it's a two-way street. Stop doing it. Please, I beg you, please stop doing it, y'all. Please stop worrying yourself to death about it, and say, you know what? You need to exhaust all your options before you come back and talk to us. And likewise with parishioners, I have a subscriber that said they are giving their new church 3 months, a 90-day grace period. You don't have to give your money to every church. It's not a one size fits all. It's not this is what you have to do. You can take your money and give it to whoever you want. If you want to sow it into a ministry, I personally sold my money into a ministry that I'm not even affiliated with, just to make sure I pay a tithe. You understand what I'm saying? You give it to wherever you want to get, wherever you feel comfortable. Not because, oh, well, I need to go to church. So with that being said, I'm gonna just put it here. And you start sowing your money on what you perceive as good ground, and then you're wondering why you're not being blessed. Because it might not be good. Let me tell y'all something. Real quick. Real quick. Let me tell y'all the truth. And I told somebody here, one of my accountability partners, I think it was a story I did about, it was the night that I exposed something here about Bishop Jakes. Whew. Allegedly. And I think it rubbed people the wrong way, right? What I said, and it's still up, by the way. I didn't take it down. What was said it wasn't proper, you know, but I said it nonetheless, and I had to own it. You know, when you say stuff, you have to own that stuff. And I didn't feel great about it afterwards. So one of my Patreon subscribers decided she was going to inbox me, and she was going to let me know how she felt about me and what I said and how I was wrong and I should be ashamed and all this other different things. And I said, well, I have to respect how you feel about that. You know, I don't know what to say about it. It's what's done is done. What's said is said. Like, I can't take it back. Right now, of course, did I come back and try to be more apologetic about it? Yes, I did. But all in all, what can I do? It's still out there. So this person proceeds to tell me how disappointed she is in me, and that what did she say to me? That I should be ashamed, number one, that she was disappointed, and that I needed to give her my Cash App. I said, absolutely. Cash App for what? You know, I don't, you just read me for filth. I said what I said. I apologized for it. Like, what do you need my Cash App for? She proceeded to send me money. Let me just help y'all out. The pastors and leaders, parishioners. She sent me money and I sent it right back. Because she did not send that money with good intention. And I said, thank you, but no thank you. Okay? If a person is coming to your ministry and just because they feel like they need to sow into a ministry of some sort and they just, decided to pick you, make sure, like, everybody's just taking money. Just taking. How about you make sure that people are doing it with the right intentions? I had to say thank you, but no thank you. I don't know a lot of people, a lot of vloggers on top of that, who would send money back to their subscribers. But I did, because I knew that it did not come from a positive place. And you're not about to send me something with bad intentions. I'm not taking it. So, no. So I sent it back. I sure did. All $20. Praise God. All right. So, I've been recovering. And it really hasn't been a lot going on in the church sector, right? Like, I told my sisters, I'm not going to be able to talk about much on YouTube like that, because the people aren't really talking about much. I did my private live, but I'm not going to be able to talk about much right now because there's nothing going on. Thinking it's almost Thanksgiving. What do we have going on? Then I get a video in my DM. Shout out to the street committee. Okay. They sent me the Jameliah Gooden video and then the pastor Dwayne Dawkins video. Now, let me start by saying this. Here's what I appreciated about this video. But before we get started, part of the reason why vloggers and YouTubers and people that go live are so popular is because we like to call things out. And I'll take it a step further. We're calling for the clarion call to be blown about these issues so that people can make it right. Right? But a lot of times there's really no serious accountability that happens after said scandals happen, right? A scandal takes place and the people are like, Well, you know what? It's done. I'm not going to talk about it. Let it go, right? Somebody decided we're going to have a scandals forum, which I loved. I was like, this is what I'm talking about right here. Okay? We're blowing the clarion call here on YouTube, but the people are getting together and they're sitting amongst one another and they're talking about what's been done and what God has done as a form of restoration for them. I love it. I love it. Okay? Love that. So Pastor Dwayne Dawkins sat down on this panel and he exposed himself. He said, I'm going to try to approach this with respect, okay? Pastor Dwayne Dawkins came forward and he said that, allegedly he's been dealing, and he said it, but I have to say allegedly here, okay? Because they can come back and say Cocktail said whatever. So allegedly he has been struggling with bisexuality for a number of years. And he's also a pastor who I found out who was preaching against being bisexual or liking the same sex. So that's how you know they're struggling, okay? And so he was preaching about, homosexuality or being same gender loving, X, Y, and Z. But he himself was dealing with having feelings of wanting to be with the same sex. And from the video that I saw, this man of God, this was not his first rodeo. The man of God gave that man the best that he had. Okay? The man of God was able to meet with this young man who, now that we know he is an OnlyFans model, he was able to meet with said man and was willing to engage in same-sex sex. Unbeknownst to him, he was on OnlyFans. Hey, Tanisha, what's up? Unbeknownst to him, he was on OnlyFans. And the people were able to see that he was just going for it, okay? The people were able to see that this man of God was tearing the club up and not, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the club, like, you get what I'm saying? He was tearing the club up and it was unprotected, allegedly, okay? But this was not his first rodeo, because when you're talking about that type of sex, that's a process, okay? It's not just a ramming of the two members. It is a slow process that you have to either A, know what you're doing, or B, the person needs to be very relaxed and somewhat open in order to receive the right-handed fellowship. You get what I'm saying? So in this situation, Pastor Dawkins, he was an MVP. Okay, he was a Tom Brady of his sport. All right, unbeknownst to his wife and his children. And so he goes on this panel and he, proceeds to say that he had a sneaky link with this young man. The young man apparently pulled a Kevin Hart situation. Okay, and what I mean by the Kevin Hart situation, that there was a video camera or phone set up to watch the right-handed fellowship going down. Okay, unbeknownst to the pastor, who has been known to preach in the pulpit against homosexuality. Okay, I did love the fact that they talked about this on a panel. I really enjoyed the fact that they thought, okay, why don't we bring people together who have dealt with scandal and have dealt with, in a sense, being excommunicated, to have this conversation. Here's what I did not like about this video. With the moderator talking to Pastor Dawkins, the moderator basically was like, listen, so let me go back. Pastor Dawkins also revealed during this time that he was struggling with staying on this earth, okay? He contemplated leaving prematurely, okay, at his own hands. And the moderator, basically said, like, what was that moment that made you want to cease with doing that? And he said straight up, his children. Let's bear in mind that Pastor Dawkins, at the time of the same-sex situation, was a married pastor to a woman. And not one time during that segment did he mention his wife. Now, we are applauding Pastor Dawkins for going online and sharing his story and sharing the fact that he had to move out of the state. He went from Florida to now he's in Atlanta. How fitting, unfortunately. And my subscribers caught that, and they were like, "Oh, so now he's in the." I think somebody said he's in the black male homosexual heaven or something like that. I was like, y'all are pettier than me, but it's true. We all know that Atlanta is the place for the black gays. San Francisco is the place for the white ones. Everybody was going to San Fran when they was out here shucking and jiving, dipping and diving and doing it. And then the men, okay, the men of faith, the men of valor, were going to Atlanta for the right-handed fellowship. All right? So the gentleman said, what was the situation that made you want to stay here? He says, my children. So I don't know if there was some sort of disconnect between the pastor and his wife, if she was just being used as a beard, okay? I don't know if she was just present as a beard to make him look good, or if there was just the love was gone and he just wanted what he wanted. And let's be clear. The enemy knows exactly what you want, and he knows exactly what turns you on and exactly what makes you tick and what makes your mouth salivate. This man of God, he was salivating all over the place for this other man. Okay? And apparently the man did something that he really enjoyed. All right? But I did not like the neglect for his wife. We don't know if they are together anymore. That's under wraps. Apparently he has ceased preaching, and he is now in Atlanta living his life as a teacher. Had he not gotten caught, he would still be pastoring. Had he not gotten caught, he would have probably never had repented, right? But he had to get caught in order to, I guess, come to the fullness of who he really is. But let's be clear. The entire time, his wife was being subjected to being not only cheated on, but cheated on being with a man, and then again publicly humiliated. Where is the respect for the women of God? I'm getting about sick of these people. I'm overwhelmed at the lack, and this is why I changed my banner from just the church sector, women's issues and lifestyle. Because where is the compassion? Where is the respect for the wife who had to sit around and endure this? And then, again, the public humiliation, and had to go get tested for different STDs, and she should have did that anyway if it was with a man or a woman. Let's be clear. Not just because she's with a man, he was with a man, she needed to get tested. No, it's all the way around. Although, trust me, okay? My ex is going, I don't want to say he's going to burn in hell, Jesus. Calm down, Catrice. Okay. I'm starting to take it personal. Because something like this similar happened to me, and he was with another woman, and I'm just like, bro, really? You just being nasty, minister. Nasty self. But I don't want to send nobody to hell. That's not my job. Okay. Yeah, she said facts, because STD don't have gender preference. It doesn't. If someone in your life, in my case, I had, an ex-boyfriend, ex-fiance, I don't know, fiance, ex-boyfriend, okay, ex-situationship chat, who was messing around. And unbeknownst to me, there was a young lady who he was busting it wide with who had multiple STDs. Thank God I was a good Christian girl at the time, okay? And we used to just wrap it up most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, God was working on me, okay? And plus, I wasn't in the church at that time. You know, I was removed from the church. You know, I can't lie to y'all though. Like, you know, and yes, he was a minister, and yes, he was passing out STDs because he was disgusting, and he was with a woman. Okay, so if your partner's out here shucking and jiving, make sure they go. I'm talking about somebody outside of you, outside of your realm of protection. Go to the clinic and go get tested. You're being nasty. You're being nasty. Okay, just spreading it wide. Just being ridiculous. You know, so I'm not gonna send them to hell. What y'all saying? Hello, Introverted Life Podcast. My sister's here, y'all. She wants everybody to see that she's here. So, all right. She's like, put me on the screen. No, not today. All right. That's really much all I have. So let's recap real quick before I get up off here, y'all. Shout out to the 31 of you all. Please hit that like and that share button. So let's go back. So Bishop Todd Hall out of New York decided he was going to have his church. And it was almost like a dance battle, which I was just confused about. Why y'all on the side doing all that? It was just a mess. It was the ghetto for me, okay? One side was mostly men except for one young lady, and the other side was all girls. And they were doing an ESPN praise. I was just over the fact that they incorporate, like, why do people, like, we just do the most for no reason. Sometimes we do too much. Black folk, sometimes we do too much, child. Okay? It's like, at this point, what we're going to do? Have the daggone circus in church? Because that's all we are. It's one big circus. Every time you turn around. And I said, like, I said, I really won't have anything to talk about. My sister goes, no. There will always be something else that happens. And sure as the day is long, today, somebody got kicked out the church. And then I found it was two men. I said, oh, two men. I thought it was two women. The people saying it was two men. So I got to figure out what's going on, child. I want to go back and see all the things that happened throughout this whole situation and why they got put out. Okay. And I want the backstory as to why they got put out. I did see a little interview, so I got to go back and watch that. Yeah, I need to see that. So y'all look for that commentary this week because I'm going to definitely come back and talk about it if I have time. But I definitely want to do it. Pastor Jameliah Gooden. Okay, we talked about her. Pastor Gooden, and I said this again, I firmly believe, I wholeheartedly respect the office of the pastor. Okay, God put them here for a reason to shepherd the people. Okay. However, we need. You know what? We're gonna make up a handbook for the pastors. Okay, we're gonna make up a handbook with these two pieces of paper in it, and it's gonna give you the blueprint and the job description of a pastor, biblically based and natural, including you as a pastor. You do not need to give any money to your parishioners out of your pocket. Because we don't want to hear about it after you do it. I don't want to hear, well, if we turn over the books, then so-and-so, so they're going to see what I gave. If you have to do that, don't give it. Likewise for the parishioners. Stop going in these churches and begging. Stop. The church is not a bank. The church is a hospital. Okay? Stop going in these churches, begging them for money. You look desperate. Stop it. Because what happens is when you hurt the pastor, then they group everybody in and they all hurt me. We don't want to hear it anymore. We tired of hearing the pastors talking about they hurt. Okay? And frankly, I'm gonna be honest with you all. Some of these pastors, they really catch me as, I really feel like because the parishioners say it so much, they feel like they're being left out. They want to feel like a victim. So we're hurt too. So you guess you can have it. Go be hurt. And once you're finished being hurt, pastor and leader, okay? Because it's not all y'all. But the ones that's talking about they so hurt. First of all, what do you heard about? Same thing for the parishioners. What y'all heard about? Is it logical? Is it logical? Is like what's going on here? Because we're tired. Everybody's crying. Stop. You know, you don't have to go to the church. Parishioners, you're not being forced to go to church. No, you're not. Pastors and leaders, especially to the ones who actually are not called by God. Breaking news. Nobody's forcing you to go to church. No one's forcing you to pastor the church. Especially if you are not called, you're not anointed, you just open up, you know what, my granddad had a church, I need to have a church. Sit down. No one's forcing you to pastor. You're choosing to pastor, just like these pastors are choosing to give these people money. No one's I have never seen, in my personal opinion, and where I've watched, because y'all know I'm nosy on the line, I've never seen someone hold a gun up to a pastor and say, give me $50. Now, I'm sure it has happened at some point in time. I don't, but I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. These pastors are choosing to go dig in their wallet. Hold on. Dig in their wallet and say, here's $400. Do what you need to do with it. And then they go, we're starving. We have no food. We're putting all our money in the church. That is your decision. It's also your decision if you want to go to a bank and ask for a loan. I'm just tired. It's a choice. It's a choice. And people get mad. Oh, well, how dare you? No, how dare you to come on here to play on my intelligence? I'm supposed to sit up here and feel bad for you because you've given out $10,000 of your money when no one forced you to do it. It's not part of your job description, Pastor. You are to preach, lead, and pray. Stop giving these people your money because I don't want to hear about it no more. I don't. I don't feel. And guess what? If you give it and they take it and then they step on you, I don't feel bad for you either. I don't. And that is harsh. But it's the truth because it's your decision. You chose to do it. I told y'all about my former pastor. I'll tell you again. Listen, the woman of God was amazing. I love her to this day because we never had any real bad blood. I saw the people lying on me. Okay, but she had a really bad habit of doing this. The bad habit was she would say, someone would say, I'm struggling. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, and she would go, we're going to call her armor bearer Destiny. I don't want because it has a Y at the end. Destiny, go grab my purse. She's, I got it, Pastor. I got your purse, Pastor. And she would run on over and she would pull out her purse, her wallet, and she would write a check. And let's say the check was $500. And she would snatch it out of her checkbook and she would hand it, all loud and proud and shoulders back. And she would say, you take this money and you pay your bills with it. And the second someone made her mad, she would say they stole from me. Listen, I can't make this up. She would do it all the time. And I would be like, why do you keep doing this when you don't have to? And then you're going to turn around and say they stole from you. They did not. You gave it away. Listen, there are a lot of pastors that I have a lot of empathy for. Local pastors, breaking news for y'all. The amount of stuff that comes across my desk about local pastors is sickening. And they better thank God I love Jesus because I would have been put it out here like that. Some of that stuff is bad. I just got something 2 days ago about a local pastor. I can't share it because I know this person. I said, what in the world is wrong with you? Get your life together. Go find Jesus. Go do it now. Do not stop. Do not pass $200. Do not collect that. Go and find the Lord again. It's a shame. I said, if you're not careful and something comes out, I'm gonna talk about it. So don't get mad with me. Local pastors in the DMV, you don't get mad with me. If you have an opportunity to get it right and you don't, when it comes across my desk on a public forum, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it. So stop shucking and jiving and do what you're supposed to do. Go find the Lord. Oh, I am fussing again. I'm fussing again. I'm always fussing. Okay? But it's the truth. I don't feel bad for them. I don't. Because they know, you know who you are. You don't, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, you probably are. So don't do it. And you can't help everybody. Everyone is not your project. That right there will preach for women of God too, for women in general. Every man is not your project. Every man that come across your desk is not your Boaz. He might be a no-ass, okay? He might be a no-ass. The spirit of a no-ass. Everybody talking about, I need a Boaz, I need a Boaz. What about your own situation first? Finding out who you are and loving yourself, and not just running out here being with these men just because you're lonely. Heck, we all get lonely. Guess what you do? You know, well, I don't want to tell you what I do because it's not always safe. But it's the truth. Okay? And lastly, Pastor Dwayne Dawkins. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed. It made my heart smile to know that people, because I do believe in redemption. I wholeheartedly believe in repentance and redemption and restoration and all that great stuff. And it made my heart smile to know that this man of God was on a platform talking about scandals in the church so that he could be free. I really enjoyed that. Really did. But I still feel like, because I'm a woman and I talk about women's issues here, and my heart bleeds for these women of God. What about your wife? What about your wife or your ex-wife? What about her? Now that you're out and you've been exposed, now you just toss it to the side. Okay, my secret's out here, so now you can go. Your services are no longer needed. Is that what happened? Did you just wipe her out of your whole life and not give her the credit of standing by your side and raising your children and being a good wife and a first lady and a mother to your kids? Did we negate the fact that the wife is still a pivotal point of your whole life and ministry? Because without your wife, people would have been looking at you sideways like they do Jamal Bryant. Oh, the people look at Jamal sideways because they know he's single. If there's a single bit, Brian Carn, Jamal Bryant, is Todd Hall married? Hold on. Is Todd Hall married? That one, Pastor YPJ, he's single. He fine. Praise God. He fine. Okay. Oh, he fine. But he's single. Let's see. Todd Hall wife. Yeah, he's married. He's married. Yeah. Oh, and I stand corrected. He's in Florida and he's from New York. He's in Florida, so I stand corrected. Okay. But when a man of God is single in the ministry, people look at that. And they're waiting to see what you're going to do as a single man of God. What's that pastor's name that was with Anwar in Alabama? That man of God, he's single too. He was shucking and jiving with most of the congregation. He was just shucking and jiving with everybody around there. And then when they got mad and went online to talk about it, he tried to deflect. No. You can't put the right hand of fellowship in everybody's situation, man or woman. When are people getting mad? So my heart is really concerned for Pastor Dawkins' wife or ex-wife. Because so many times the women of God get neglected, they get overlooked and abused. Okay? We're talking about the pastors being abused. What about the first ladies? What about the woman that stands in the back of the pastor like this at nighttime when he's around there praying for the people, or he's going through, or whatever, or they're going through financial issues? She's the one that is supposed to be holding him up. So what happened to First Lady Dawkins? She better not come out missing. She better not come up missing. If she comes up missing, we're gonna have a bigger problem. Like this whole situation. Oh, y'all. Oh my God, I forgot to tell y'all breaking news. Breaking news. This is off the subject. So we're gonna go back to Pastor Mac Ellison for a second. We all know that there's an open investigation in regards to First Lady LaShonda Ellison, okay, in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, especially on Patreon, I talked about it here also, but there was a situation in Baltimore that was similar to this situation concerning Pastor Mac Ellison. Now, the situation in Baltimore was that there was a man who was married to this woman, and allegedly they said that she was stabbed by a panhandler, which was not true. The husband and the stepdaughter were the ones that actually took the wife out of here, okay? So I'm at lunch today, minding my business with one of my girlfriends and my sister, and we were talking, and you know, I had went out to this comedy show on Friday night and had a great time, and she had her friends that were there, so I was just chilling, and she said, "Oh, you know, the guy that was with us, he was first cousins with the man that killed his wife in Baltimore." I go, "What? Y'all come to find out. Y'all ready for this? Y'all." I said, God knows what he's doing. Full circle moment. We started comparing notes between the gentleman in Baltimore and Pastor Mac Ellison, almost identical. The stories are almost parallel to one another. It was so much for me. I had to get up and go to the bathroom and get myself together because I could not wrap my brain around why. Like, it's almost like I'm like, God, how do you know to do this? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm having this moment that I'm as a vlogger and as a broadcaster having to report to the people, and you bring this full circle moment with my girlfriend here. We're talking about it, and I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. Okay, so needless to say, and my sister's here; she can attest. So I say this to say that I don't know what God is doing. Hopefully we'll know something soon. But that moment happened for a reason today. That moment happened for a reason. I mean, I was in shock because the stories were so parallel, down to the point of, you know, the man, he was, you know, doing his thing. Allegedly, the one in Baltimore was in some trouble before, in and out of jail. But, you know, he met this woman and she took him in. Doesn't that sound like Pastor Mac Ellison? That he met this woman and they were together and she bought a house and she took him in. And to the point where, up until the point where she passed away, his name was not even on the lease. That means she couldn't trust you financially or fiscally to take care of the house. So I'm interested in seeing how the story ends. I'm interested in seeing what God does. And I'm definitely interested in seeing who done it. Okay? That's all I got. I'm interested in seeing who done it. All right? But anyway, y'all, it is almost an hour I've been on here. Thank you all so much for watching. I just wanted to share these couple of topics with you. I was going to talk about it tomorrow night, but why not tonight? Why not a night like a Sunday night where I am chilling in the house, doing nothing? I had a great lunch, great outing, and now I'm in the house. I might go back out in a little bit though, because the streets is calling me. Your girl can walk better now. I'm still not clear, but I can walk better. But the streets are calling me, and I'm just joking. I'm not going back out on the street. But I wanted to share my viewpoint on this whole Pastor Dwayne Dawkins situation and the Jameliah Gooden situation. Because I do have empathy for pastors. I don't want people to think that I don't. But we have to, you got to take accountability, and everyone, I saw this with, what's her name? Pastor Genesis Warren. She went online a few weeks ago herself talking about what she did. It's like, stop giving to the people, men and women of God. If they're going to take from you and not pour back into you, you can't even get a prayer out of them. Don't give them your money. Stop it. And if you keep doing it, I don't feel bad for you. You cannot expect for us to feel bad for you about giving your resources and your finances when you don't have to. That's not part of your job description. Pastors and leaders, breaking news. Get a whole handbook with 2 pages in it so that you all know what you're supposed to do. 2 pages. That's all you need. For the entry-level pastor, 2 pages. For the bishop, maybe 5. For the apostle, we don't need nothing over there anyway. For the apostle, for the archbishop, for the overseers, one of the main things for the overseers is stop eating at McDonald's after service, okay, or the Golden Corral, or the Chinese buffet. Stop, okay. The overseers and the bishops, stop, okay. It's killing you, okay. It's messing up your insides and stuff. You're just gonna mess yourself up, sir. Even though I do like a big old fat bishop, I ain't gonna lie, okay. I want my bishop heavy, but that should be a thing. Stop going to these places after service to eat all this junk food if you know it's not good for your health. That should be in the manual, okay? The archbishops, that's a whole nother situation. I should get my archbishop friend to come online to share what he thinks should be in the manual, because he's highly opinionated, and I like how he thinks sometimes. No, we don't always agree. But we do respect each other, but we don't always agree. Bishop, no, I have to respectfully disagree, Bishop, or I agree. That's how we talk. I do not yes him. I just say, you know what, Bishop, I have to respectfully disagree with you on the situation, because I don't think that that's proper. And he listens, and then he responds. We don't yes each other. That's not the nature of our relationship. We have a very open relationship about the issues of concerning the church, the body of Christ, what's right and what's wrong in the eyes of God. We are very clear, okay? And so he knows Cocktails is not going to yes me. No, she's not. I don't yes anybody. I've been that person before. She gone. Okay? She does not yes people. She yeses Jesus. Amen. All right, y'all. I got to go. If you guys are not yet subscribed to the text community, text the word cocktails to 833-495-4371. That's 833-495-4371. And also, you guys, consider donating to the Cash App. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you all for liking the video. I look at every like. I look at every comment. I don't always get a chance to respond to every comment, but I do look at every comment. Best believe I know what's being said in the comment sections, okay? So thank you all so much for even giving me your opinion on what you think on the videos that I've been posting. When I get the videos, I try to put it out for you all. That way you have it. And that way I can get some feedback from you as to what to post, what to talk about here on the channel. I will also be doing more lifestyle stuff. So I'll be talking to you all about my diet, my diagnosis from the doctors. I'm trying to give more women's health, women's issues. I know it's going to be low viewership for that starting off, because it's not my normal niche, but I feel led to do so. And it might not be on a consistent basis, but I will always just try to keep it 100 with you guys. And those will be mostly pre-recorded videos. So be looking out for that. I do also need to post my testimony video. I'm supposed to do that today, so I'll probably do that once I find it in my phone. Probably do it either today or early part tomorrow. So look out for that when you get a chance. And yeah, I think we're up off of here because I'm tired. And I can watch Below Deck on Peacock. Yes, I'm still watching Below Deck. It's been 6 weeks, and I am still yet watching the Below Deck. Okay, you guys? I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on next time. Bye.